Hey, what's up, everybody? Heart Metal Reviews here once again, and today we're doing another edition in my series where I go through 5 random albums from my CD collection. I think this is volume 20 in this series now. I've been doing this for like a year and a half, basically doing one of these every month. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep going with this series, to be honest. Once I've done 20 editions in one series, it might be time to look at some new ideas, but we'll see what happens. But this could be the last one of these for a while. But nonetheless, you know the deal by now. Just 5 random CDs from my collection. Not really any rhyme or reason to which ones I've grabbed. I just try to grab some from different subgenres, so it's not just 5 black metal releases in a row or 5 power metal releases or whatever. Yeah, let's just get into this. Let's talk about some music today, and we're going to kick it off with some Finnish black metal with one of my favorite active bands being Havukruunu, here with their debut album Havulinnaan. I might be mispronouncing that. I've got the Svart Records reissue here. I just was able to pick this up earlier this year, actually. Been a long-time fan of this band, but it was really hard to find the original pressing of this album on their previous label, Nottermacht. But I was very happy to find out that Svart Records was re-releasing and reissuing this CD, so I was able to grab it right away. But yeah, they just came out of the gates firing. This is their first album. They released their 4th album earlier this year, which is absolutely astounding as well. But no better place to dive in than right here with their debut. If you are unfamiliar with this band, while I say Finnish black metal, they definitely bring in some other influences as well. This is like the epic era of Immortal mixed with some Bathory-isms, if you will, with that Finnish touch. Just glorious riffing. It's super triumphant. It's gonna make you want to raise your fist in the air. Great album art as well that really just ties the whole thing together. I'll even show, like, inside the booklet, they got a lot of great artwork here as well. I need to hold that up closer, but basically every page has some really great art that really just suits the music. I'm not going to try to pronounce the song names here to pick favorite songs because I'll just embarrass myself with my terrible Finnish pronunciations. But if you haven't got into Havukruunu yet, change that. Go check them out. Havulinnaan, their debut, is a great place to start. Alright, up next we're going to switch it up completely and go with some progressive heavy metal, progressive power metal, however you want to classify them. Going with Crimson Glory and their album Transcendence. So this is a sophomore release by this band. This would be for fans of bands like Queensryche, Sabotage, Fate's Warning, stuff in that vein. So 80s heavy metal, but it's got a little bit of that progressive tinge. And it's just really about the vocalist. His name is Midnight, not the black thrash Midnight, but the Midnight from Crimson Glory, one of the best vocalists out there. Unfortunately, he has passed away since, but these first 2 Crimson Glory albums are absolutely magnificent, with this one probably being my favorite. The debut is great as well, but this one built upon that debut, and it just is filled with the great riffs, and really the vocals, like I said, are the shining star here. He hits such high notes. Go listen to the song Red Sharks when he's really singing fast, and then he just hits some really crazy high notes. Absolutely amazing stuff. Favorite songs here, Red Sharks being one of them. Painted Skies, absolutely gorgeous ballad. Lonely is great. Where Dragons Rule. Lady of Winter. Really, this whole album, front to back, is just a masterpiece. Goddamn amazing stuff. If you have not given Crimson Glory a chance, go listen to it, especially the first 2 albums, and specifically this one. Alright, let's switch the subgenres once again and go with some death metal. Going over to Sweden with Bloodbath and their debut album Resurrection Through Carnage. So this was a super group for sure, especially on this debut album. You've got Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth on lead vocals. You've got Dan Swano from Edge of Sanity on drums. You've got Jonas and Anders from Catatonia on guitar and bass respectively. Just old school Swedish death metal, a super group that you can expect no less than an astounding album. It's simplistic for sure, but these death metal songs will just stick in your head. Like, the riffs are nothing to write home about. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still good, solid death metal, but it's not like this is going to blow you away with originality or with innovation, but that's not the point here. This is a throwback album, throwback sound, and it's just really well done. You got great tracks here like Bathe in Blood, Like Fire, Ways to the Grave, So You Die. Ackerfeld's vocals just suit this perfectly. All in all, a killer death metal release. I mean, some of their other albums maybe don't hold up as much as the Ackerfeld era of the band, in my opinion. I mean, his albums are my favorite ones by the band, but all their stuff is still pretty decent. But this one holds a special place, mostly because of the Opeth connection. All right, let's now switch it up completely. We're going to go with some symphonic metal. Admittedly, genre that I don't spend a ton of time in, but every now and then there are a few bands that catch my ear that I still like to go to, and we're going to talk about one of the best in the genre being Epica, here with their album Requiem for the Indifferent. So this is not my absolute favorite Epica album, but it is still a very well done album. I mean, they don't really do bad albums. Pretty much everything they have released is at least pretty good. Some of their stuff is better than others, but this one is a pretty solid album overall. This has kind of shifted their style from their first couple albums. They started getting a little better sound production and like filling out their sound a little bit more, maybe a little more accessible and commercial. But that being said, like, the complexity is still here with the songwriting, and it's just really well done stuff. Simone's angelic vocals contrasted with the guitarist's harsh vocals really just give them their trademark sound, and the symphonics and orchestrations here is what really drives the music. But what stands out to me about this album are the vocal melodies that really carry these songs. These choruses will just get stuck in your head, like the song Storm the Sorrow, absolutely amazing. The title track Requiem for the Indifferent is great. Deepwater Horizon, there's a ton of great tracks here. Maybe, like I said, not my absolute favorite Epica album, but nonetheless, it's still pretty damn good. Go give them a listen if you're into symphonic metal at all. All right, last but certainly not least, one that maybe is hard to categorize. Loosely, I'll say black metal, but there's a lot of other influences going on here as well. I'll just get into the album. Moonlight, Sorcery, with their debut full-length Horned Lord of the Thorned Castle. They had released a couple EPs prior to this, but this was their full-length debut. Another band from Finland. So, like I said, I will classify them as black metal, but it even brings in some of the, melodic power metal that Finland is known for with bands like Children of Bodom or Kalma, with the insane guitar solos, which you don't often get in black metal, but that's not necessarily a fair comparison to just say a blackened Children of Bodom, because there's a lot more to it than that. But I absolutely love this band and love this album. The guitar solos will knock your socks off, but then you got the harsh black metal vocals and great riffs beyond that as well, just blast beats galore. All in all, a very solid album. This is from a couple years ago, one of my favorites from 2023. I hadn't pulled it off the shelf in a few months, but I'm glad every time I do. I had this in the car this week, and I'm like, yeah, this still holds up. This is goddamn amazing. Fucking love the guitar work on here. If this has flown under your radar, go listen to Moonlight Sorcery. Absolutely astounding. All right, I feel like I used some of the same words way too often today. I'm calling everything astounding, but I'm only talking about albums I love, so whatever. It is what it is. Maybe it's time to wrap up this series because I don't even know what I'm doing right now. But nonetheless, until next time, Hammer Heart Metal Reviews, out.